My child, stop everything right now. I am speaking to you with urgency because this moment cannot be repeated in the same way again. Do not scroll, do not delay, do not tell yourself you will come back later, because later is the place where many truths are lost. This is an emergency, not because I want to frighten you, but because I want to protect you. Heaven itself has interrupted your life for this one word. I have paused the noise around you, slowed your steps, and brought your eyes here because something unseen was moving toward you, and I love you too much to remain silent. You may feel surprised by how strong this moment feels, but that is because your spirit recognizes my voice even before your mind understands what is happening. I am not asking for much, only your attention, because one moment of listening can guard you from a lifetime of confusion. Stay with me now. This interruption is mercy. Listen to me carefully, beloved, and let my words reach deeper than your thoughts. You were chosen to see this message, and that is not an accident. Out of countless moments, countless paths, countless distractions, you are here now, and that tells me your heart is still sensitive, still reachable, still willing. Pause everything, because what you hear next could save your life, not just your body, but your direction, your peace, your future. I know how easy it would be to dismiss this as coincidence, to assume this is just another message passing through your day. But you and I both know there have been too many signs, too many inner nudges, too many moments lately where you felt something was off but couldn't explain why. I am answering that feeling now. I am not distant. I am not unaware. I am speaking because I see the road ahead more clearly than you can, and I want to guide you safely through it. My child, the enemy wants you to move past this without listening. He does not need you to reject me openly. He only needs you to stay busy, distracted, and hurried. He knows that silence toward my voice weakens discernment. That is why I am asking you to stop right now. Not tomorrow, not after one more scroll, not after you finish what you were doing. Stop now. One word I am about to speak will change the direction of your life, not because the word itself is magic, but because obedience to it will realign you with truth. You have been standing at a quiet crossroads longer than you realize. You felt it in your spirit, the sense that something needed to change, that a decision was forming even if you had not named it yet. This is the moment clarity arrives. Do not rush past it. Do not scroll away. Do not let distraction steal this moment from you. I am speaking now, and when I speak, things shift, even if you cannot see it immediately. This message was placed before you for a reason that will soon become clear. I did not bring you here to overwhelm you or accuse you. I brought you here to awaken you gently, but firmly. You have been carrying more than you were meant to carry. You have been navigating with limited visibility, relying on instinct when I wanted to offer guidance. This moment is not about pressure. It is about alignment. If you stay, you will understand why certain things felt heavy, why rest felt shallow, why joy felt distant. Understanding brings freedom, and freedom is what I desire for you. This is urgent, my beloved, but urgency does not mean chaos. It means importance. This is not for everyone, but it is for you. Many will pass this moment by without realizing what they missed. They will tell themselves they were too tired, too busy, too distracted. But you are still here, and that matters. Stay with me until the end, because what is revealed here was meant to protect you. You are not weak for needing protection. You are wise for receiving it. I see the questions you have not voiced, the fatigue you have normalized, the quiet worry you have learned to live with. I am addressing all of it now, not loudly, but clearly. I know you may feel the weight of this moment pressing on you, a seriousness that feels different from ordinary messages. That is because truth carries weight. It settles into the soul and asks for response. Do not be afraid of that feeling. It is not condemnation. It is clarity. I am not here to take something from you. I am here to give you what you have been missing but could not name. You have been faithful in ways no one saw. You have endured seasons you never expected. You have waited longer than you thought you could. And still, you are here. That tells me you are ready to hear what comes next. Type Amen deep in your heart if you believe today's blessing is truly for you. Stay with me, my child. Let the noise fade. Let your breathing slow. Let your heart listen without rushing to understand everything at once. I am not asking you to figure it all out. I am asking you to trust me with this moment. You are safe here. You are seen here. You are being guided. And as you continue to listen, you will realize that this interruption was not an inconvenience, but an act of love meant to guard your life and lead you forward. My beloved child, understand this clearly and let it settle gently into your heart. This moment is not random. It is not an algorithm. It is not coincidence. You did not arrive here because of chance, habit, or timing alone. I interrupted the normal flow of your life because something unseen was approaching, and I love you too deeply to allow you to walk forward unaware. Heaven itself leaned into your ordinary day, not to alarm you, but to protect you. What feels like a pause is actually an intervention. What feels like an interruption is an act of mercy. I see how your days have been moving quickly, one responsibility following another, one thought replacing the last. You have learned to keep going even when you are tired, to function even when your heart feels heavy, to move forward without fully understanding why certain things have felt off. You told yourself it was just stress, just exhaustion, just another phase. But beneath the surface, there was a quiet shift taking place, something subtle that could not be detected while rushing. That is why I asked you to stop. Not because you were in immediate danger, but because awareness is protection, and I wanted to give you what you needed before you needed it. This emergency is not built on fear. I do not use panic to guide my children. Fear paralyzes, but love awakens. What you are feeling now is not dread. It is importance. It is the weight of being seen, chosen, and cared for. I do not interrupt lives casually. I do not speak urgently without reason. When I call your attention like this, it is because something matters deeply, something connected to your future, your peace, your direction. You are not one among many to me. You are known. You are remembered. You are deeply important. There were paths forming around you that looked harmless on the surface, choices that seemed small, thoughts that felt familiar, habits that appeared manageable. Nothing dramatic, nothing obviously dangerous. That is how unseen dangers often work. They do not announce themselves loudly. They drift quietly, waiting for fatigue, waiting for distraction, waiting for the moment when discernment is dulled by routine. I saw those things approaching long before you could. And instead of waiting for you to stumble, I stepped in early. That is what love does. It protects before harm arrives. You may wonder why this feels so serious, why your spirit feels alert even if your mind is still trying to understand. That is because your spirit recognizes my voice. Before words fully register, your soul knows when truth is present. You were created to respond to me. You were formed with an inner awareness that stirs when heaven speaks. That stirring you feel is not anxiety. It is alignment. It is your inner being recognizing that this moment carries significance. I want you to know that you are guarded right now. You are not exposed. You are not vulnerable. My protection has been around you even when you were unaware of it. I have slowed things down intentionally. I have quieted certain distractions. I have drawn your focus here because clarity arrives best in stillness. I am not revealing everything at once because truth unfolds safely when received with patience. All I ask of you now is presence. Jay, listen. Let this moment do what it was meant to do. You are chosen to hear this not because you are better than others, but because you are ready. Readiness does not mean you have everything figured out. It means your heart is open enough to pause, to question, to listen. Many pass moments like this by without noticing. They move too fast, scroll too quickly, dismiss too easily. But you stayed. That alone tells me something about your heart. It tells me you are attentive, even when tired. It tells me you are seeking even when uncertain. It tells me you value truth, even when it challenges you. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness into your life and help you grow in devotion to God. If you wish, you can show your support by donating through Super Thanks. This interruption was not meant to disrupt your life, but to preserve it. There are seasons when protection looks like warning, and love looks like urgency. I am not taking something from you in this moment. I am offering you something. I am giving you sight where you might have continued blindly. I am giving you clarity where confusion was slowly forming. I am giving you rest from carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. You have felt pressure lately that you could not fully explain. A sense that something needed to change, even if you did not know what. You have felt restlessness, not because you were ungrateful, but because your soul was sensing misalignment. That was not imagination. That was not weakness. That was your inner being responding to my quiet signals. This moment is the answer to those signals. I am speaking clearly now because you are ready to hear clearly. I want you to release any thought that you are in trouble or that something terrible was about to happen. This is not about punishment. This is about prevention. I am a shepherd who watches ahead of the flock, not just beside it. When I see uneven ground, I guide gently before anyone stumbles. When I see danger forming, I redirect before harm arrives. That is what is happening now. You are safe. You are covered. You are being guided. Let yourself feel the care in this moment. Let yourself receive the truth that you matter enough for heaven to interrupt your routine. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten in the flow of the world. I know your name. I know your struggles. I know the weight you carry quietly. And I know exactly what you need right now. Stay with me, my beloved child. This emergency is not something to fear. It is something to honor. It is the sound of love speaking loudly enough to be heard over the noise. It is protection arriving early. It is guidance stepping in at the right time. You are chosen, guarded, and deeply important to me. And as you continue to listen, you will see that this interruption was not a disruption, but a turning point meant to keep you safe and lead you forward in peace. My beloved child, I told you to pause everything because some things cannot be seen while you are moving fast. I did not ask you to stop because you were failing, but because you were surviving on motion instead of awareness. You learned to keep going because stopping felt uncomfortable, and slowing down felt dangerous when so much depended on you. You filled your days with tasks, your mind with thoughts, your quiet moments with noise, not because you were careless, but because you were tired and trying to cope. But constant motion weakens spiritual sight. Rushing dulls discernment. Multitasking scatters the heart. And I love you too much to let you walk forward without seeing clearly. When you move quickly, you only see what is directly in front of you. You react instead of perceive. You manage instead of discern. That is how subtle danger goes unnoticed. That is how important signals are missed. The enemy does not need to push you into chaos if he can keep you busy enough to never look up. Noise becomes a cover. Speed becomes a shield against stillness. And stillness is where my guidance becomes clear. That is why I ask you to pause. Not because I wanted to inconvenience you, but because I wanted to protect you. You have been multitasking not just with your hands, but with your heart. You have tried to carry responsibility, emotion, expectation, and uncertainty all at once. You have learned to divide your attention because life demanded it of you. But a divided heart cannot listen deeply. It hears pieces, not fullness. It senses discomfort, but not direction. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility. I am asking you to reclaim awareness. Awareness keeps you safe in ways effort never can. Some dangers do not announce themselves. They do not appear as threats. They appear as patterns, as habits, as gradual shifts in thought and feeling. These things cannot be detected while rushing. They reveal themselves only when you stop long enough to notice how far you have drifted from peace, from clarity, from alignment. That is why pausing is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is obedience. It is survival. You may have felt guilty for stopping in the past. You told yourself rest was laziness, slowing down was falling behind, pausing meant losing control. But hear me clearly now, control is not safety. Awareness is, and awareness grows in stillness. When you pause, you allow truth to surface. When you slow down, you give your spirit room to speak. When you stop, you create space for my voice to rise above the noise you have grown used to. I asked you to pause because you were approaching something unseen. Not something meant to destroy you, but something that required clarity. Speed would have carried you past warning signs. Habit would have silenced inner checks. Familiar routines would have masked misalignment. Pausing interrupts those patterns. It breaks the rhythm that keeps you from noticing what matters. That is why I stopped you here. This pause is not punishment. It is preparation. It is me stepping in before confusion deepens, before exhaustion becomes numbness, before small compromises become heavy burdens. I am not removing momentum from your life. I am redirecting it. Momentum without direction leads to exhaustion. Your action without awareness leads to missteps. But awareness guided by love leads to peace. You are not falling behind because you paused. You are catching up to yourself. You are reconnecting with a part of you that knows when something is off, that senses when alignment is slipping, that longs for clarity but has been too busy to listen. I am restoring that connection now. I am not rushing you because truth does not rush. It waits to be received fully. There are things I need you to notice that cannot be seen while multitasking. Feelings you have been suppressing. Thoughts you have been avoiding. Weariness you have normalized. Pausing allows these things to surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be addressed gently and honestly. Avoiding them would only allow them to grow silently. Facing them now, with me, brings healing. I know stopping feels uncomfortable. Stillness can feel loud when pain has not yet been processed. Silence can feel heavy when questions remain unanswered. But I am with you in this pause. You are not alone with your thoughts. You are not abandoned in stillness. I'm present here, guiding, steadying, protecting. This pause is not empty. It is filled with my attention toward you. You were taught to equate productivity with worth, movement with purpose, speed with success. But I measure differently. I value obedience over urgency. I value listening over reacting. I value awareness over appearance. You do not need to prove anything to me by rushing. You do not earn safety by staying busy. You receive protection by staying attentive. This is why pausing is survival. Not because the world is dangerous at every turn, but because life requires discernment, and discernment requires stillness. A shepherd does not run his flock through unfamiliar terrain. He slows them down. He watches the ground. He listens for sounds that do not belong. He guides with patience because patience keeps them safe. I am doing that with you now. I am slowing your pace so you can see clearly. I am quieting the noise so you can hear truth. I am pausing your steps so you can recognize where you are and where you are going. This is not loss. This is care. Do not rush to leave this pause. Do not hurry back to noise. Let this moment teach you that stopping is not failure. It is obedience. It is trust. It is strength under control. You are safe here. You are being guided here. And when you move forward again, you will do so with clarity instead of confusion, with peace instead of pressure, with awareness instead of fear. I told you to pause everything because I wanted you alive to what matters. Alive to truth. Alive to direction. Alive to my voice. This pause is not an inconvenience. It is an act of love meant to preserve your path and protect your heart. Stay with me here. Let this stillness do its work. You are not wasting time. You are being prepared. My beloved child, I want you to slow your heart and listen deeply now, because what I am about to speak carries more weight than you realize. There are moments when many words are spoken, and they pass like wind. And then there are moments when a single word from me settles into a soul and alters everything that follows. I am not a God who speaks carelessly. I do not release words without purpose. When I speak one word at the right time, it carries direction, protection, correction, and life. That is why I ask you to pause. That is why this moment feels heavy in a quiet way. A word is forming, and it is not light because it is meant to hold you steady. Come and thank you, Father, for all you've done if your heart overflows with gratitude. You have lived long enough to know that not all words are equal. Some words stay with you for years. A sentence spoken once can echo through your thoughts, shape your decisions, and color how you see yourself. If human words can do that, how much more can my word do when it is received with attention and trust? I have seen lives change direction because someone listened when it would have been easier to ignore. I have seen destruction avoided because one warning was taken seriously. I have seen hope restored because one instruction was obeyed. This is not exaggeration. This is the quiet power of listening. Many think destiny shifts only through big events, dramatic changes, or long seasons of effort. But often, destiny turns on a much smaller hinge. A moment of hearing, a decision to stop, a willingness to receive one word instead of many distractions. I have watched people miss what would have saved them, not because I did not speak, but because they did not pause long enough to hear. And I have watched others be preserved, redirected, and strengthened because they listened when it felt inconvenient or unclear. I want you to understand why I am building anticipation instead of rushing to speak the word. Weight must be carried with readiness. A word given too quickly can be treated lightly. A word received without preparation can be misunderstood. I am not withholding from you. I am preparing you. I want this word to land in a place where it can take root, not bounce off a hurried heart. That is why I have slowed you down, quieted you, and drawn your focus inward. You may be wondering why one word matters so much. It matters because my words do not merely describe reality, they shape it. When I speak, I do not offer opinion. I release truth. And truth, when received, rearranges what was misaligned. One word from me can bring order where there was confusion. It can bring restraint where there was impulsiveness. It can bring courage where fear hath been ruling quietly. But it only works when it is heard and held. Think of the times in your life when one instruction could have spared you pain. A moment when a warning arrived quietly, and you ignored it because you were tired, distracted, or unsure. You did not mean to choose wrongly. You simply did not listen fully. I do not remind you of this to reopen regret, but to show you why this moment matters. You are being given what many wish they had taken seriously sooner. And you are being given it now, not later, because later often comes after damage has already been done. I am not revealing the word yet because I want you to recognize its value before you hear it. I want you to understand that what I am about to speak is not casual guidance. It is not motivational language. It is not something to admire and move past. It is a word meant to be carried, remembered, and returned to. It will not demand effort from you. It will demand attention. It will not overwhelm you. It will steady you. There are seasons when silence teaches, and there are moments when one word protects. You are standing in such a moment. You may not fully see what lies ahead, but I do. I see the paths forming. I see the pressures increasing. I see the choices approaching. And I know which word you need to hear now so that you do not have to learn it the hard way later. This is how I shepherd my children. I guide before danger, not after damage. Many lives have been changed because someone listened once. A person who stopped when everyone else rushed. A heart that stayed open when it would have been easier to numb. A soul that chose obedience over explanation. They did not always understand immediately. Sometimes the meaning of the word unfolded slowly. But because they held it, it held them. It became an anchor in confusion, a compass in uncertainty, a guardrail when temptation appeared. I want that for you. I want you anchored, not anxious. Guided, not guessing. Protected, not reactive. This is why I am careful with my words. This is why I am deliberate now. You are not missing anything by waiting a little longer. You are gaining depth. You are allowing your heart to become still enough to receive what matters. You may feel curiosity rising in you, a desire to know the word now. That desire is good. It means you are engaged. But let it be paired with reverence. Let it be paired with readiness. Let it be paired with trust. Trust that I know when to speak and how to speak so that what I say will serve you, not burden you. This word will not condemn you. It will not accuse you. It will not remind you of your failures. It will speak to where you are now and where you are going. It will be simple, but it will not be small. It will be clear, but it will not be shallow. And when you hear it, you will recognize it, not because it sounds dramatic, but because it resonates deeply with what your spirit hath been sensing all along. Stay with me, my beloved child. Let the anticipation sharpen your attention, not your impatience. You are being invited into a moment that has preserved many before you. One word is coming, and it carries weight because it carries love, protection, and direction. And when it is spoken, you will understand why I asked you to pause everything to hear it. My beloved child, listen to me with a calm and open heart, because what I am about to reveal is not meant to frighten you, but to wake you gently. Destruction rarely comes with noise. It does not always arrive as chaos, crisis, or visible collapse. More often it comes quietly, patiently, almost politely. It comes wrapped in normal days, familiar routines, harmless habits. It does not announce itself as danger. It presents itself as comfort, as rest, as delay, as not now. This is how the enemy works when he wants to destroy slowly, without being noticed. He does not begin by pulling you far away. He begins by pulling your attention just slightly off center. He does not say, turn away from truth. He says, scroll a little longer. He does not say, abandon what matters. He says, you can deal with this later. He does not say, stop listening. He says, you're tired, you deserve a break. And none of these things sound evil on their own. That is why they are effective. Scrolling is not dangerous because of what it shows you, but because of what it steals from you. It steals stillness. It steals reflection. It steals the quiet moments where your spirit would normally sense when something is off. When your mind is constantly fed noise, it forgets how to listen. When your eyes are always moving, your heart stops noticing. The enemy does not care what you scroll through, as long as you never stop long enough to hear my voice clearly. Noise works the same way. Constant sound, constant conversation, constant information. You fill silence because silence feels uncomfortable. Silence forces you to feel what you have been avoiding. Silence brings questions to the surface. Silence is where my guidance becomes clear. Some noise becomes a shield against awareness. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are trying to survive without feeling overwhelmed. The enemy uses that instinct. He does not accuse you for needing noise. He simply encourages it, quietly, until silence feels unfamiliar and my voice feels distant. Tiredness is another tool he uses gently and often. Not physical tiredness alone, but emotional and spiritual exhaustion. When you are tired, your defenses are low. When you are tired, you choose ease over discernment. When you are tired, later feels reasonable. You tell yourself you will think about it tomorrow, pray about it later, deal with it when you have more strength. But tomorrow becomes another day, and later becomes a habit. And habits shape direction. Emotional overload works slowly too. When too much is placed on your heart at once, you stop sorting what matters. You stop discerning what is urgent versus what is noise. Everything feels heavy, so you numb yourself to feel lighter. You avoid depth because depth feels demanding. You choose distraction because distraction feels manageable. The enemy does not create all the pressure in your life, but he knows how to use it. He knows that an overloaded heart has little space for listening deeply. Later may be his quietest weapon. Later sounds wise. Later sounds patient. Later sounds responsible. But later often means never when it comes to spiritual awareness. Later allows small warnings to fade. Later allows unease to settle into normalcy. Later allows misalignment to grow unnoticed. I am not saying rest is wrong or delay is always harmful. I am saying that when truth knocks and is repeatedly postponed, the heart slowly grows dull. This is how destruction happens without violence. Not through one dramatic fall, but through 1,000 small distractions. Not through open rebellion, but through quiet neglect. Not through hatred of truth, but through familiarity with noise. I have seen many lives drift far from peace without ever realizing when the turning point happened. There was no explosion. There was no crisis. There was only a slow loss of attentiveness. But hear me now, my beloved child, and let this bring you peace, not fear. You are not lost. You are not late. You are not already destroyed. You are here. And staying right now is already resistance. Every moment you remain present with me weakens the quiet strategy that thrives on your absence. You do not need to fight harder. You do not need to fear the enemy. You simply need to listen. Staying is an act of strength. Staying is a declaration that your soul matters more than distraction. Staying is a refusal to let tiredness decide your future. Staying is you choosing awareness over avoidance. You may not feel powerful right now, but attentiveness is powerful. The enemy cannot slowly destroy what remains awake. I want you to see how gentle my protection is. I did not wait until damage was done. I spoke while things were still subtle. I interrupted while choices were still small. I called your attention before patterns became chains. That is love. That is care. That is the heart of a shepherd who watches ahead, not just behind. Do not judge yourself for the moments you were distracted. I understand your humanity. I know the weight you carry. I know how loud the world is. I am not condemning you. I am inviting you into clarity. Awareness does not accuse, it illuminates. And now, light is shining where distraction once ruled quietly. Let this moment remind you that you are not weak for needing reminders. You are wise for receiving them. You are not failing because you felt tired. You are growing because you stayed. And as you continue to listen, you will begin to notice things sooner. You will sense unease earlier. You will recognize when noise is trying to replace truth. Stay with me, my child. Let the slow work of awareness strengthen you. Destruction loses its power when it is exposed. And right now, exposure is happening gently, lovingly, without panic. You are safe here. You are protected here. And by staying, you are already walking away from what once tried to pull you slowly into confusion. Right, amen, Lord. I still believe if your faith is standing firm through it all. And share this video.